Ray, he was one of the ones that went down. So, yeah, as we say, it's they'll all be allowed to restart. Was it stopped for the oil?
Just one of those racing incidents. The MV's struggling with speed anyway, Shaky, but here in particular, this is a circuit that's going to magnify any problems that you have with the MVs.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm not sure how long the actual straights are, but, you know, didn't we hear earlier on that the Ducatis were losing 0.3 of a second on each straight? You know, we bear in mind that the straights are probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 seconds maybe long, probably, if you're actually riding them. You know, 0.3 of a second in that shorter distance is a big deal, and if the MV's got a little bit of a speed deficit right now, being a brand new bike, then it will be highlighted up here.
Oh, I'll tell you what, we've just had come through on the Eurosport Twitter feed, just an extra question, and while we've just got a few seconds, I'm going to throw it to you, Shaky, because I'd like to get your response. This is from Neil Armstrong Boast. Wonder if it's any relation to Pete Boast, the dirt track man. Anyway, Neil Armstrong Boast tweets, who does Shane tip as the future amongst British racers? And James, he says, I remember when James was. so God bless you, Neil. Yeah, God bless you, Neil. We like the question. So, Shaky, who do you tip?
You know, the only guy that's coming up and through at the moment is Alex. You know, there's superbike riders are definitely getting younger. They're definitely jumping on the bikes younger. I mean, you know, back in the day, it was really, really difficult to jump on one. But, you know, Alex and Sam, you know, Alex is a young guy. Well, they're twin brothers, you know, exactly the same age, and they're on the way up. So, yeah, cool guys to race against.
Nice, and you heard that from the man himself. So, Neil Armstrong Boast, thank you very much for your question. We do appreciate it. Right, guys, any changes in predictions?
No.
Both going Sam still?
Yeah, we got to support
absolutely, absolutely. Daftest question of the afternoon. It's going to be Sam all the way. Come on, fingers crossed for it. Here we go then for Super Sports Take 2 over at Monza. Back then with James and Jack.
The grid begins to clear as we head for a rerun then. Can we make it happen safely this time around? The oil has been dealt with at great length with stacks of cement dust and magnificent witches' brooms, which, as James pointed out, you could use to fly home on after you'd finished. And they've worked really long and hard on that. All these lads have been out, done their warm-up lap, had a check out at what the place looks like, and ready to go now. Second attempt then at the World Supersport race. I still haven't got a race distance to give you because we haven't been told yet. It was meant to run 16 laps originally. The European Junior Cup, which runs on Honda CB500.
I can tell you, full length, 16 laps, Jack.
16 laps. We've got confirmation right now. It's going to be a 16-lap race. The European Junior Cup, which is run on Honda 500cc Hondas.
Yep, they're on the 500, yep. CB500.
Which are twin-cylinder 500s. That's going to hum into action after this.
Nice
prior
bike,
to
actually.
World Superbikes.
Nice looking little bike.
It sounds lovely.
It'll feel pretty slow down these straights.
I know. Well, I was going to say, during practice yesterday when they were out, there was this strange kind of bumblebee hum going past.
They'll be all looking now where that oil is, just trying to get an idea. The dust you see kicking, that's not smoke, that's dust from the cement. And you know, going in their first few laps, you're more than likely not going to be able to see where you're going because you're going to be unsighted by a rider in front. So it's really important on the sighting lap and warm lap, they actually all have a look where it is.
And we've got everybody back in the game, of course. All the people who went down, nothing was too extensively damaged. So all the riders who were involved, Lowe's, Marino, Sofog, Lucinetti, the first 4 on the grid, in fact, are all back in the race. I'm relieved to say. So the man who's got, you feel, has got something to lose here is a twice former race winner here. He leads the World Championship, Fabian Fauré, but he's qualified back in 9th place on bike number 99 for the Mahi India racing team. He has to find a bit of a head of steam from there.
Yeah, and Fauré famously doesn't like any wet weather riding these days, and he actually didn't. A couple of the sessions here this weekend, he just hadn't bothered going out.
Yes, he
just not bothered.
We did have some mega electrical storms here at Monza and across Monza town. It was fabulous. It was like a whole light. And some torrential rain. There are still huge pools of water around areas behind our grandstand here, for example, and car parking.
I'm going to say our car's parked right in one of them.
Dakota Mamala keeping an eye on his teammates, of course, at Yachnik Yamaha. Sam Lowe's, who got that dramatic victory at Assen. Can he do it again on that red and green machine?
Yeah,
so here they come.
Worked extensively on Sam Lowes' Yamaha, and he'll be just hoping everything's straight, working, and you know it's all in where it should be. I think it will be. They put a new fairing on it, and I saw him working with a footrest.
Ready again, and this is the expectant crowd and the huge bleachers alongside the old banking at turn 1. Ready to go with another 16-lap World Supersport race here at Monza. Just a quick apology to Alessandro Polita. It's actually his lovely sister Alicia who's on the second last row of the grid, having out-qualified a couple of the lads. She's a regular in the Italian Championship. And ahead of her, well, this lot. Sam Lowes needs that start on the Yaknik Yamaha. He didn't get away too well first time around. This is his second chance. Oh, he rams the throttle. Bang! He drops the clutch and gets overtaken by Florian Marino on the Intermoto Pony Express Kawasaki.
Marino got a good launch there.
Oh, he just took off. And Marino it is who hits the first turn, and once again Sofuoglu comes through, but this time I think Lorenzo Zanetti was not letting the Turk through and forced him wide coming out and held on to that second place, which gave Sam Lowes a chance round the outside.
One of the MVs, I think, gone way wide on the gravel at turn 1.
Swooping round the sun-bleached Biasono turn, now heading for the earlier oil slick here as we watch Kenan Sofuoglu straight away test himself through the dust.
He went in there really hot, got it stopped, but yeah, it wasn't the cleanest of moves.
It completely discombobulated poor Zanetti, who's dropped immediately back to 5th place. So Sam Lowes took the opportunity to pounce.
He did.
And is right behind the reigning champion.
Yeah.
That's a good move. Both of them rattling themselves across the curb as they come out of Les Mols 2. So that was unfortunate for Zanetti. He got really pulled about there by that move of Sofuoglu's in Rogier.
I'll tell you something, Sam Lowes' Yamaha, not the quickest bike out there either. He's just about able to stay with Sofuoglu right in the slipstream and do nothing about it.
And the 4th place man is none other than Kev Coghlan from Perth in Scotland. Yes, well, the 4-stroke Inverness fan club will be going buns at the moment. Kev's up there, right behind Sam Lowes. So he's made a terrific start from the 3rd row of the grid.
He's been pretty fair all weekend.
Yes, he has. He's inside the top 10. Oh, we've got a... That's coming... Gary. So that must have been a big, fast one coming out. Boys. Steady. Oh, it's Alicia.
It could be Polita. It could be the lady, yeah.
So she's down and out of the race. She should know this place better than to go and do that. Look at this. We've got a good lead. You know, Sofuoglu, Lowes. Look at this. Where's Foray come from? Foray's come through ahead of Zanetti, Van der Mark. And then we've got Russo, Leonov, Marconi, Baldolini. I think we might have been... Well, what happened to... the red flags come out again. What's happened to
Kev Coghlan? I honestly think that we thought that Foray was Kev Coghlan, you know.
So right now we've got the red flag out. Florian Marino was once again in the lead, so once again frustrated at that. And unless it's the Alessio Polita incident, or has Coghlan gone down? Because I think we were right. I think Coghlan was there. I think our caption was right. And then he hasn't emerged from Parabolica, so I'm hoping... Well, boys out there, you're doing your best to make Monza seem like a kind of dodgy place to race, and we know that's... wow. That bike's been on fire.
That's a Yamaha, and that's coming out of Ascari. I reckon they've flipped the curb there.
Yeah, and so that must have been, I think that must have been Alessio Polita's accident. It is.
Yeah, that is Alessio.
Oh, and the bike immediately went on fire, look, as they went to check that the ladyship was all right. The bike burst into flames. Was it Polita? That was our timing screen. Oh, and it was Robbie Rolfo who went, you were right about one of the MV Augustas going straight on. Poor old Robbie Rolfo, former Vice 250 Grand Prix champion, is now at the back. The red flag's out, so they've got to do it all again. This time they probably will have to knock a few laps off. And meanwhile, as hunger gnaws at your commentators, you can see our chance at grabbing a bit of lunch waning across the horizon. So we've all got to come back in and get the restart going then, and we're still not sure quite well. Presumably, if that was the only incident, was the one that befell the young lady as she came Ascari, then we still don't know quite what happened to Kev Cogley.
We don't.
We can't see far enough up to see what might have happened in the up at Parabolica. Now, James, will they need fresh tyres, or will they just, what will they be doing now? They seem to be in a heck of a rush as the bikes are brought back in.
Do you want to get the tyre warmers on, stop them cooling off? They will want to then find out how, as soon as they can, how long the stoppage is going to be. They're going to work out what length of race is going to be run, whether they're going to need more fuel. Tyre-wise, no. Let's have a look.
Dear me.
Yeah.
That just doesn't look terribly healthy, does it?
Polishing them scratches now.
And that's the number 51 machine. That's Alessio Polita's VFT Racing Yamaha. So poor VFT have probably lost a bit of money through having a kind of wild card entry into the World Supersport race this weekend, unfortunately. And hopefully, though, the 27-year-old Alicia is okay. That's the main thing. Sam Lowe's now ready to go again. It's a test of these boys having to, you know, like refocus all over again. They just want to get a good race going, don't they?
And I've seen this happen so many times, you know, over the years. In fact, at Brands Hatch, my last run at Brands Hatch in 2002, when I smashed myself against a pit wall, that had been stopped twice. We were on a third start, one for Foray and I think one for
Stefan Chambon.
I think it's Chambon. Yeah. And you know, it is a roller coaster. You've just got to get yourself up for it again. You don't want to go through all this again. Once the race has started, all your nerves have turned to adrenaline, and you want to keep going. You're into it by then. You don't want it stopping, but they've got to do it again.
Leonov looks quite relaxed. So too does Keenan Softwadler.
Looks like maybe it turning because it's really jumping. When I really was stop the jumping, I can't touch throttle so much.
Phil, check also if it's been.
Oh, he's on about his tyre turning on the rim, which means he slipped completely out of balance.
Right.
He said he was jumping. Yeah, that'd be it. That does happen, actually.
So there's a bit more fuel going in the Yamaha.
Yep.
Christian Ingham was on BBC One. He was on our timing screen in 18. The conclusion of that lap ahead, just behind rather. Well, actually some good people. Lucas Scassa 17th, Gabo Talmashi 16th, Max Schultz 15th, Stefano Cruciano after a poor start in 14th. Jack Kennedy was in 13th place and well into the points, so he was going in the right direction.
Got to say fair play to the marshals out there at Ascari. They got the fire out pretty quick. They were right on it with an extinguisher. Fires are weird when it's fuel fire. If you get to them pretty quick, dead easy to put out from what I've seen. And I've seen a few put out. If you don't, the thing gets old and they get quite difficult to put out.
Lucas Scassa waits once more. There's a lady looking tenderly on the right-hand side. He's a great bloke, Scassa. His father is Luigi there on the left of the picture as a mechanic, has a passion for engines, and they work on off-road engines, real high-quality off-road racing engines is their garage's speciality.
Yeah.
They work out of Arezzo, which is in Tuscany in central Italy.
Very nice.
And, but he started road racing on a 125 Aprilia in 1999.
You don't get an idea how big he is. A big lad.
Yeah, he is a big fella. And this is Robbie Rolfo, who's at least got the chance to make amends for that horrible start where he just rolled off into the gravel in the first turn.
Yeah, we don't know that. He could have had help from somebody
else. His best year was 2003 when he was second in a very, very close second in the 2003 250 Grand Prix World Championship on a Honda. And all the ice is on the knee. Oh dear. Sorts of people, there's some little bumps and bruises around here. I think Roberto Rolfo, for me, he's going to be better suited to the 600cc bike because he never really made it happen on a superbike.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
so by a process of kind of default, you keep trying until you find one you like.
Well, actually, he did finish 4th here in 2007 when he was 8th overall in World Superbikes. This has always been a favoured track of his. Oh dear, it does look quick when they have to launch down there.
It's that bit. It's going into the left where you've got to really slow it down. You're trying to brake as the bike comes straight up, but you can't really hit the brakes that early because you're already cranked over.
What those slow-mo shows you is how the suspension
Working hard.
buttons as they hit the apex, coming from such a high speed.
It's difficult here because if you have as much support as you need on the brakes and over the bumps, when the thing's flattened out the front anyway, it's too hard in a lot of the corners. You know, it is a real compromise in suspension here. It is everywhere, to be honest.
And there's look at that, just standing
Good
up
shot,
right, and it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Christian Eden right bang in the middle of the action, number 21. Number 4, Jack Kennedy just ahead of him on the black and yellow Riva motorbike. And there's Robbie Rolfo getting squeezed out wide, number 47, and ending up in the gravel. Kenan Sofuoglu, brave as you like, going in deep into the chicane there at De La Rochier, regardless of whether there's cement dust on.
Regardless of whether somebody in front of him and where they are.
Yeah.
He's not shy, is he?
There is a hint of that. But for Zanetti, of course, that really just kind of knocked him backwards. This is the exit where Alessio Polita crashed to Ascari. The Red Bull-backed Mahi India Racing World Champion Kenan Sofuoglu, the most successful Supersport racer in World Supersport history. Sitting there looking well cool, and the new race distance. Wow, this is going to be a blinder, ladies and gentlemen. 10 laps we're now reduced to. 10 laps is the new race distance for honours here in what is already a very, very tight World Supersport Championship. What a prospect that is. Fabien Foray, the man who's leading the World Championship. Emma there was his Brolly girl when he won, I think, in 2007 at Phillip Island. They've been together ever since. And he never shows much more affection than that towards her, to be honest. It's a curious relationship.
He's quite a sombre bloke. He's never jumping around doing backflips in the paddock. He's always got a bit of a, face like a...
And when you're here in, well, what we've momentarily got a bit of cloud covering us at the moment, let's hope it's only a high cloud, but when you're here at Monza, you've got everything to smile about, and he obviously likes the place because he's been a winner here in 2008 and back in 2002.
Always fast for it, always fast. I remember him bursting onto the Supersport scene in my last couple of years in Supersport, and he's always quick. You could tell he was going to be able to ride well if he stopped looking back and crashing. He did crash a little bit at first.
40 years old now, so he's not crashing quite as much. These are the air fences being blown up. They kind of can pump them back up, Jim.
Can I explain what happens? When you go into it, they're not just a balloon, because that would mean you'd hit them and bounce off and fire up in the air and go all over. They've got these flaps on the top that are velcroed on, some kind of almost air sealing velcro, that when you hit them, it blows the tops out, these vents, and the thing goes and it flattens down in a controlled rate. It's almost like it's to slow you down in that 2 meters that they are wide. But when they've been used and something's hit them, it means they've got to be stuck back up with the velcro stuff and then pumped back up. So it's the clever things. You think it's just a balloon, but it actually isn't. The clever things.
I really enjoyed the sound effect at the beginning of that.
Yeah, sorry, I can't.
That encyclopedic
Well, I tell you what, I've hit a few, and that's what it's like a big whoosh as you go into it. Yeah.
It must kind of surely feel quite comforting compared to hitting a tyre or a bale.
The first time you're rallying towards one on your backside, being followed by a bike somewhere at like 70 miles an hour, you're thinking it's still. Oh.
You kind of feel like they're used a lot here in Italy. Imola has a lot of them as well.
Brilliant things. Real expensive, because they are, like I said, tricky. They're not just what you think. You think you'd make one at home out of some sort of plastic and pump it up, but it's not the case.
Roberto Rolfo clambers back aboard the Parking Go MV Augusta, run, of course, by Chaz Davis's manager, Giuliano Ravella. Apparently, it's a big family, the Ravella. He's got about Giuliano's got about 6 siblings, and they tend to all get kind of involved. There's a lot of Giuliano lookalikes around the place. Now we're waiting to go. We've got Jack Kennedy, number 4. Can he get that Riva Motor Honda? He's got Jeremy Williams, of course, working alongside him. It's always lovely when you get when you get successful former racers working alongside younger man. Jack Kennedy's got Jeremy McWilliams alongside him, Florian Marino with the very keen Andrew Pitt. Andrew here with his 11-week-old son Aidan and his Italian wife, and